BYD has long been at the mercy of big global shipping companies, and global shipping costs have drastically increased over the last couple of years since the COVID pandemic ended. I'm not sure why this is, but it's more than twice as expensive to ship a vehicle today as what it was only a few years ago. BYD had a plan for this. They decided that they would find a way around this. They have built several enormous ships in order to ship their vehicles around the world at a lower cost than all of their rivals. Here's what those ships actually look like. It's kind of all a little bit scary, to be honest. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Yeah, it's true. I did predict that BYD would, become the largest automaker in the world by 2030. I know many of you thought that as well. But seeing this happen, seeing this play out, seeing BYD ship 500,000 vehicles 2 straight months in a row, 1 million cars in 2 months. I mean, we've got to get to the point where, BYD has 50% of the global car market. Could it happen? Honestly, the vehicles they're producing at the cost they're manufacturing them at, I don't know how that can be beaten. Only Tesla could possibly really rival that, and Tesla isn't interested. Tesla's clearly interested in artificial intelligence and all that stuff. It's not interested in actually taking over the automotive industry. BYD, could they do this? I mean, is it possible? Entirely possible, absolutely. Moore's Law. You all know what Moore's Law is. Double the number of vehicles you produce, double the number of products you make, and the cost to make those goes down by approximately 20%. BYD's new car carrier, BYD Shangzhou, has gone into operation, according to CNN Post, with the ability to ship 5,000 EVs. Now, this first ship you can see here, it is heading straight for Europe. BYD doesn't seem to care about the fact that there are these enormous taxes, the equivalent to about 28% tax on their vehicles being sold in Europe. It doesn't care. That's not going to stop it. Keep in mind, though, BYD are planning on numerous factories, Turkey, Hungary, Morocco, I believe as well, numerous factories in order to get around these tariffs. They will simply assemble vehicles in those locations, and this will enable them to save that 28% tax. BYD has put its new carrier into operation, adding transportation capacity to the Chinese vehicle makers' exports. And this is not the only one. This is a number of ships they are having built. Now, technically, this is actually the company's second vessel, and it went into operation after receiving delivery only last week. Wang Jianbao, general manager of BYD Corporate Division, said this on Weibo today. The car carrier is headed to Europe with 5,000 electric vehicles. Apparently, they believe this will help cool the planet by 1 degree Celsius. I'm not sure how, but anyway. Now, technically, BYD actually owns 3 massive car carriers like this, but it has plans for many more. Now, kind of incredibly, this ship actually shipped vehicles, is shipping these vehicles from a new BYD factory. That factory only completed production in 2022. So within the space of 2 years, that factory appears to have its own car carrying ship in order to send these purpose-made vehicles, which I believe are made intentionally for the European car market, from that specific factory all the way to Europe. Now, obviously, BYD have thought this through in every aspect. They are vertically integrated. They make their own batteries, they make their own motors, they make about 70% of the things that go into their own cars. And they thought to themselves, well, why are we paying these enormous shipping costs if we can simply become the shipping company ourselves? With a total length of 199.9 meters and a loading capacity of 7,000 vehicles, it's the latest addition to BYD's fleet. BYD say they have 7 other vessels in operation, or will have 7 others in operation over the next 2 years. So they currently have 3 in operation. They'll have another 4 being built currently right now. 7 ships will mean BYD has the capability to send as many vehicles around the world as it wants to. By the way, they did just sell 506,800 vehicles in November. That's a new record for the company after they sold 502,000 the previous month. And that means that they've now overtaken Ford, Nissan. There's not many car companies left, to be honest. How long until they overtake the Volkswagen Group and Toyota? Well, I think it won't really take as long as I used to think. I used to think 2030. Now, I believe it's more likely to happen in 2028, only 3 years away. Thanks for watching. The CEO of XPeng last year famously said that the car industry in China is a bloodbath, and it's only going to get bloodier. China's electric car price war has been raging for the past 2 years. This has forced some car manufacturers into essential bankruptcy. Mitsubishi has left China, Jeep went bankrupt, other famous Chinese manufacturers have gone bankrupt, and this has driven also consolidation. The battle has spurred collaborations between Chinese and Western automakers. Look at Volkswagen's partnership with XPeng, Audi's partnership with SAIC. Increased competition has kept prices incredibly low and it's driven them even lower. But this has put massive pressure on car makers. We know that it has, but the pressure it's putting on suppliers is even greater. Therefore, what this means is that behind the closed doors of the Chinese automotive industry, suppliers themselves are being forced into cutting their prices to be so low they are going to potentially go bankrupt themselves. BYD has responded to a leaked email from the company essentially demanding suppliers reduce their prices. Really interesting to see how this really works in China, how these cutthroat deals are made. Now, make no mistake, as much as I do like BYD, I've been bullish on the brand since day one. Like I've said many times, I started making videos about BYD when 99.999% of the public had no idea who they were. But I think, this sort of level of cutthroatness is just something that I personally probably couldn't handle. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. It's great to have you with us. I want to say, first of all, disclaimer here. I don't own a BYD. I did own one. I honestly didn't think it was as good as I thought it would expected it to be. Neither did Shani. I mean, her experience of it, she wasn't a big fan of it either. It was really the software. We both thought the software just wasn't the ADAS, the cruise control, the lane keeping stuff. We both thought it just wasn't good enough. And, that was our initial disappointment. But BYD since then has certainly improved their cars. That said, I, of course, have bought an XPeng G6, which I think is definitely a lot better. In fact, a hell of a lot better than the BYD that I owned. And it now doesn't cost much more. So I think BYD are certainly not focusing so much on EVs anymore. They're focusing much more on plug-in hybrid technology. And their plug-in hybrid technology obviously is fantastic. Key reason why Toyota plan on using it in 2026, when for BYD, they'll probably be onto their second gen platform. Anyway, that aside, BYD there's been a leaked email to suppliers. Maybe suppliers are leaking it intentionally because they're kind of feeling the pressure. BYD have responded to this email with, I believe, a very dishonest response. And don't get me wrong, this is an opinion. I'm not saying this is true. This is just my opinion. So I'm curious to know what your opinion is on BYD's response to this leaked email.